Hey guys, Mark McKillier with Live Anabolic. Got a really fun workout today. I got several really clever exercises that we're going to use to target our lower chest. And guys, especially you guys out there that are trying to lose body fat, it's great losing that fat with those droopy man boobs, those moobs, but once you lose the fat, if there's no muscle under there, it's just not going to look very impressive. So stick around. These are 3 exercises you may not have seen before, and they're really straightforward and easy to do. All right guys, so our chest is made up of 2 muscle groups. We got the lower part of our pecs, okay, and that's the biggest part of the 2 muscles, and then we have the upper part of our chest, all right? So let me just describe the movement that's involved with contracting your chest muscles. And guys, anytime we're bringing our arm, our upper arm, or your elbow from behind your back towards the front, you're contracting your pecs, all right? So that's what is primarily moving your upper arm. Now, if we're moving our arm in an upward motion, all right, we're emphasizing the upper part of our chest more. If we're pushing our arm down and across, we're emphasizing the lower part of our chest. Now, still, both muscle groups get involved anytime you bring, your arms together. But we can target areas of our chest more effectively just by changing some angles, and also, guys, by changing the position of our hands while we're doing these movements. So I really like mixing things up for all the muscle groups, okay? So I don't ever want you guys just doing the same 1 or 2 exercises over and over and over for the same muscle, because guess what? Your body really is smart, and that muscle will develop in a way that it makes it really easy to do that one exercise you're doing over and over again, but then the muscle fibers adapt and they stop growing, okay? So they get used to doing the thing, and the way we build muscle is by confusing it, all right, and pushing it beyond its normal limits, all right? And you do that by doing different types of exercises and throwing different types of angles at these muscles. So today, 2 pieces of equipment, all right? You're gonna need 2 chairs, all right? Preferably sturdy chairs, and a pair of dumbbells, all right? So the first 2 movements I'm gonna show you guys is gonna be with these chairs. So I'm gonna set them up here, and this is gonna be basically a dip movement, all right? So what I wanna do is get these chairs about shoulder width apart here, okay? And then remember, I said if we're pushing our arms in a downward movement relative to our torso, we're targeting the lower part of our chest. If we're pushing our hands in an upward movement, we're targeting the top part. Well guys, this is gonna be like doing a decline dip. So I'm gonna have my feet way back like here, okay? And then I'm gonna lean into it, all right? And basically, we're just gonna be doing push-ups, all right? So guys, when I'm at this angle, all right, a lot of my weight is on my feet, okay? So my chest is not having to carry a whole lot, okay, of weight right now. And if you're already strong, then that's gonna be probably a little easy for you. So this is the change I want you to make with the form to make the exercise much more difficult. So, same position guys, but instead of putting your feet way back and keeping your legs and your back straight, all right, we're gonna bend our knees, all right, and we're just gonna kind of lean into it. So yes, my feet are still on the ground, but most of my body weight is being carried by my arms and chest. And as you can see, as I'm pushing down, yes, I'm getting a lot of triceps involved here, but this movement here, right here, is really focusing on the lower part of your pecs, guys. So, really good workout. And then it's also a real flexible exercise for guys of different levels of fitness. So, guys that are just starting off, especially guys that are really overweight, I should say, you can move your feet back and keep your knees straight and do it this way, all right? And therefore, a lot of your body weight will be carried by your feet, but still there's enough weight up here to give you a good workout. So some of you guys that are in better shape, you're much lighter, you don't need to lose a lot of weight, you're gonna wanna bend your knees and then place most of your body weight on your arms. And so guys, the other thing is when you're doing this, try to lean forward, okay? And try to get your chest facing down towards the ground. That'll put more emphasis on your pec muscles instead of if I was facing straight forward doing this, all right, like this. A lot of that weight and angle gets changed and it starts being put on your triceps and not quite as much on your pecs. So lean forward, all right? Bend your knees if you want to make it more difficult. If that's too hard for you, just put your feet back here and keep a nice straight body as you go through the full range of motion. Now guys, if your chairs are designed a little different, okay, let me show you. If your chairs were wobbling on you, all right, this is a real easy, all right? Same exercise, but we're just gonna be doing it down here, so it's a much more stable platform now. All right, so, all right, you wanna make it a little harder. Remember, bend your knees. So, you guys need to experiment and change the position of your chairs depending on basic design of the chair itself and how stable it is. So first exercise down, we're gonna switch things up in just a second. I'm gonna show you another creative way to target the lower part of your chest. All right guys, so remember I was discussing you wanna confuse those muscles, hit them from different angles, and that is what causes the muscle to actually grow, okay? Because it can't get too used to doing the same thing over and over and over again. So another really creative and easy way to target our lower chest is just to hold our hands in a slightly different position when we basically do almost effectively the same exercise. So guys, I'll put your fingers on your chest, all right? Kind of in the middle or spread them out like this. And I want you to push your arm forward and flex your chest, all right? So push it up and flex, and I can feel right here getting tight, okay? The bottom part of my chest doesn't feel real tight. Now, if I put my hands down here and push down and flex, I can really feel my muscle contracting and getting tight down here, okay? So that's this way. Now, if I turn my hand and do a palm up, okay, and push out, okay, I can feel the lower part of my chest really contracting, even though I'm pushing straight forward and I'm not pushing down. And so if I can push up, I still feel more up here, but because I've rotated my forearm and my wrist, now my palm is facing up, I can still feel a little bit of lower chest. So basically that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna do another kind of, it's an incline push-up, guys. But instead of doing it with two chairs, we're just gonna do it with one. All right, and so what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to rotate my palms as much as possible. Now guys, depending on your flexibility, you can put your hands on the outside of your chair like this. So basically the palms are facing each other. Or if you got enough flexibility, you can rotate your hands so that your palms are facing forward, okay? And so basically what we're doing here, this is a push-up with our palms forward and we're elevated on a chair. And of course the elevation changes the angle, all right, of my arms relative to my torso. And that puts a lot more stress and emphasis on the lower part of my chest. And then we're emphasizing that even more by rotating our hands under and pushing like this. So guys, really good lower chest workout. You start doing these, all right, you're gonna be able to feel that pump going, okay? And the other thing is, when we're trying to target specific areas of a muscle group, so we're not just, you know, working our chest, so to speak today, we're trying to target part of our chest, more than the other part. That's where your mind-muscle connection really helps. So instead of just pushing, okay, and counting to 10 or 20 or however many reps you're going to do, I want you to really focus. And sometimes it helps me when I'm doing this to close my eyes and imagine I can see myself doing the exercise. And that way I can really feel certain muscle fibers contract much better than if I'm just randomly going through the motion, all right? And so mind-muscle connection is really far more important than you realize, and it's something that really serious bodybuilders, these guys that compete, the guys that are much bigger than me and much leaner and really impressive, those guys, when they go to the gym, a lot of times they don't do very heavy weight, but they really focus on the form and that mind-muscle connection, and they can force their muscles to just get fatigued super fast because of how they're contracting all the little muscle fibers simply by concentrating. All right, guys, exercise number 3, we're going to be down on the floor with a couple dumbbells. So remember, I'm worried about the angle that my arms are pressing relative to my torso, and depending on the angle, I can target different areas of my chest. So if I do a regular flat dumbbell press, okay, straight up and down, my arms are at a 90-degree angle relative to my chest. And that is a great way to get all of the chest fibers and activated at the same time, okay? But remember, we're trying to target our lower part of our chest today. So how do I get a pressing movement where my arm is actually going downward relative to my torso? All right, all I gotta do is bring my torso up, okay? So what I'm gonna do, this is called a bridge press. I'm gonna activate my hamstrings and my glutes, and I could feel all these muscles tight. Then I'm gonna be pressing straight up and down, because that's all we can do when we're talking about gravity. We can only go in the opposite direction that gravity is forcing, right? So get my butt up, straight up and down, and look how my arms are relative to my torso. See how they're pushing down, okay? All right, so that's a great way to target. I'm just gonna get a couple dumbbells. All right, now all the weight is resting on my elbows, no big deal. Get my butt up in the air, all right? And now go through my normal dumbbell press. And guys, once again, this is that mind-muscle connection I want you guys to focus on. When you get to the bottom, don't let your triceps or your elbows hit the ground. Stop just shy of the ground. And when you do it like that, it means that your chest is engaged the entire time. So throughout the full range of motion, my lower pecs are forced to contract. And then at the top, what I want you to do is come up and then really flex. So I'm flexing my chest at the top of the movement. And that is the third exercise today that targets our lower chest. And you go through this on a weekly basis, guys. And remember, you're gonna have to do enough reps and enough sets to really get yourself fatigued. So if you just do 8 or 10 push-ups, 8 or 10 chest presses with the dumbbells, you're not gonna really see the results you're looking for. So the intensity needs to be there with all these workout programs that Gary and I put up here on this YouTube channel. So if you don't have a heavy enough weight to fatigue yourself after 8 to 10 reps, you need to do a couple things. One way is just add more reps. Sometimes you may have to go to 20 or even 30 reps if you don't have a very heavy weight and you're relatively strong. Or the other thing you can do is just really slow down the tempo of each rep. Because when you do that, you're just increasing the time under tension. The time that these muscles are tense. is just as important as the amount of weight you're using. So you can confuse the muscles that way and trick them into thinking it's a much heavier weight than you really have available at your house. All right, so these are just 3 simple exercises you guys can do to target the lower part of your chest. Now, I created an entire 3-month, 3-phase program called Fit After 50. And it's designed not only to lose body fat, but also to build muscle, all right? And not just your chest, your arms, your back, your shoulders, your legs, I mean everything. It's a really well thought out, interesting 3-month program. And I think the interesting part of it is, and the fun part of it is what's just as important, because if you guys find out that your workouts are fun and interesting and keeps you mentally involved, you don't stop. All right, so, you know, this is all about consistency. So you don't get to the end of the 3 months and then give up and go back to your old way of life. You just repeat the program. There's so many ways you can change it up, all right? Over the course of many, many months and years, guys are loving it, going back and repeating. They're using more weight. They're cutting down on their rest periods, all right? And there's actually a phase 4 that's even more focused at building muscle. So give that a try, guys. And then finally, our chest, man, everybody wants a big chest. I know arms are great, you know, if you can see them when you're wearing short sleeves, but a big chest is really impressive, not just when you take your shirt off, all right? You can tell a guy that's got a big chest. I mean, I'm wearing a shirt right now, and when I walk into a room or the gym or something like that, I mean, you can actually tell. I mean, I can go up to a girl and just start talking. No, I wouldn't do that. But you can tell. And remember, the thing that looks good is that V. So we got your shoulders, your back, your chest, all of those muscles that are way up high make you look wider, okay? And even if you're carrying a little extra fat around your midsection, the wider and bigger you look up here, the smaller it makes your waist look, right? So guys, you gotta stick with these workouts. If you do them over and over and really put that intensity in there, I guarantee you're gonna see results, but it ain't gonna happen overnight, which means you always gotta stick with it and never give up on yourself.